Let's kill the fantasy real quick. Expertise, it ain't luck, it ain't talent, and it for sure ain't overnight. It's a system. And there's 4 things that separate people who dabble from people who dominate. And in this video, I'm gonna break them down for you so you can finally stop pretending to build skills and start printing results, like how I made over 7 figures online in my business, which is one digital product doing a little over 900K. So this ain't no feel-good advice. This is stuff that works. So let's get to work. Step 1, you need a valid environment. You can't become an expert in chaos. Look, if you're trying to master something where the rules are changing every 5 seconds or where results aren't based on your actual efforts but random luck, then you're just gambling. And it's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break down these 4 things. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then it's gonna be like you're shooting dice and your point is a 4 and you got a bunch of side bets on hitting the 10 too. But guess what? You're just gonna crap out. And that 7 gonna come around, you're gonna lose all your money. And you may not know what I'm talking about unless you know how to shoot dice. I used to shoot quite a bit of dice when I was a teenager. I used to get Jordans every single Saturday. My mama asked me if I was selling dope because I was making so much money from shooting dice. But anyways, my fault. I'm telling you a little bit about where I'm from. But a lot of entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, they're out here just running around like chickens with their head cut off, or they're just throwing every single thing at the wall, like crossing their fingers and hoping that something sticks. And I'm like, yeah, that's gambling. And entrepreneurship, it shouldn't be a gamble at all. Like, yeah, you're gonna take some risk on yourself, but they should be calculated risk, not just random, cross your fingers, hope that you win like you're playing the lottery or something. And they continuously do this gamble because they don't have a valid environment. And the valid environment equals predictable cause and effect. So I'll give you a real life example. So if you're learning sales, then you need to pitch, you need to sell something, therefore you get feedback. Whereas most people claim that they're learning sales by reading books or watching YouTube videos. Another example, if you want to learn funnels, well, you build a funnel, you get some traffic to the funnel, you tweak the funnel, you see conversions, you get feedback, you get real world data. You're not just doing things just for the sake of doing things, right? You get feedback, you get conversions, that's valid. But trying to become expert at predicting trends or what will go viral, that's noise. So if you actually want to master results, pick a lane where your effort equals results. Otherwise, you're just sharpening a sword in a hurricane. Now, the second thing is that you need reps and you need to get a lot of them. So many people, they don't understand the amount of volume that they have to put in to be a master at something, right? So many people, they're focused on quality, right? They're taking so much time, they're not getting their reps in because they're focused on quality, right? It's always gonna be quality over quantity. I'm just taking my time. I'm just making everything so quality. Well, it's actually quantity over quality, because that is the only way that you do get to quality. You have to get enough reps up. You have to do enough volume. You have to do so much quantity, so then you can discover what quality actually is for you, right? Then you can make a decision on if you just want to do less quantity and just focus on your quality. But if you want to get to the next level, then you'll just do a quantity of quality. But I gotta hit you with the truth. I gotta keep it a buck with you. Repetition beats inspiration every time. Too many people want expert results after like 3 times. They say stuff like, oh, this isn't working, before they've even earned a data point. If you're not ready to suck 50 times before you're solid, and in actuality it's more than that, I just don't want to scare you, then you're not ready to be great. You're just ready to quit. Every expert was trash once. They just did it again and again and again. And actually, even everybody that's failing and quitting, they're doing stuff again and again and again and again. They're just doing it backwards. So check this. What a lot of people don't realize about success is that success, it all comes at once. And especially in entrepreneurship and business, right? All the money, it comes at once. And people, they typically think that success looks like this. If this is an axis, they think that it is like linear growth, right? Well, getting success and finding success in business as an entrepreneur, typically you have an exponential growth curve. So it's not this linear line right here. It actually looks like this, right? And you see how it just basically just goes straight up all at once? This is really what success in entrepreneurship looks like. It all comes at once. You have an exponential growth curve. But a lot of people, they don't see what happens before this actual access right here. So actually, success in entrepreneurship, it looks like this. All right. So typically, this is how it goes. Somebody, they get to this point right here, and they may hear about something. They may have some type of idea. They may have watched some type of YouTube video. They may have seen somebody's ad, and they get so excited because they're like, oh, I can do this. And then they're at an all-time high because they're excited. They're inspired, right? They're motivated, like, oh yeah, I have no clue about this stuff, but I know that I can do it, right? And they're at an all-time high because they have no information on it. But once they actually put some effort to it, and once they actually get some information on it and some knowledge, and they see everything that is actually required to find success, then they hit this point right here because they're like, oh, dang, this is gonna take some work. Oh man, this is actually not as easy as the people on the internet made it seem. Oh man, this way to make this passive income, which I hate that term, passive income. If you want to find success in business, you don't need to be looking for any passive income. You need to get your active income so high to where your cup runneth over, to where you're just looking for things to do with the cash to dump it into passive long-term vehicles, right? But then people start to say like, oh, this passive income strategy, it seems pretty difficult, or this lazy way to make passive income isn't really seeming too lazy or too passive, right? Then most people right here, they quit. But this whole area right here is where the winners are putting in their reps, right? They're getting those repetitions in, right? They're doing the work. They are working on building the skills. This right here is where the expertise actually does build up, because it doesn't just happen overnight. But then all of a sudden they get right here and they have this success right here. They get hit that exponential growth curve, and then it looks like they just became an overnight success. To everybody else, it looks like they just instantly started winning, right? But no, they didn't see the darkness, right? They didn't see all them reps. They didn't see when they was in the gym. Huh? You want with me shooting in the gym? Huh? Right? They didn't see all those reps that those people put in. And this right here is where most people quit. And then they just stay on this loop over and over and over and over again of hearing something that they think that they can do, getting excited about it, then figuring out some of the work that gets put into it. It's not as easy as it sounds. Then they quit. Then they hear something else, get super excited about it, get some information, get some knowledge on it, see that it's not just something that's going to come easy overnight, and then they quit. And they keep on going in this loop after loop after loop after loop. They never get to this point right here to where they can have the exponential growth curve. And any successful person, I guarantee you, they have gone through this same exact thing. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But you don't become a beast because of one big move. You become a beast because you were consistent when nobody was watching. So whatever skills you're building, whether it be something like sales, design, content, offers, stack the reps and stay in the pocket. The magic is in the monotony. And now the third thing is that you need timely feedback. Without feedback, you're just guessing. And if you're guessing, you're stuck. Feedback is what turns effort into evolution. So let me ask you this. When's the last time you had somebody to call out your blind spot? When's the last time that you've had somebody actually help you get better? Like actually helped you to grow? If the answer is never, then you're getting them reps up in the dark. Like you working on your jump shot in a dark gym, you can't even see the rim. So yeah, you might be working on getting your reps up, but what's the point if you can't even see where you're going? So here's how you fix it. You find someone that's done it. Some people call it a mentor, whether you actually do get a mentor, or you can find somebody that has done it from afar, right? And you can get a lot of gain from just watching and studying and following somebody else's demonstration. One of my first mentors that I consider from afar is a guy by the name of Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. I credit Nipsey Hussle for a lot of the success that I've had in entrepreneurship, TMC. The marathon continues. But a lot of my foundation in entrepreneurship are principles that I learned from Nipsey Hussle, just listening to music, listening to his interviews and whatnot, right? I learned about vertical integration from Nipsey Hussle. Right? Owning everything from production to consumption. I learned about branding. I learned about marketing. I learned about building out my avatar, right? To whereas I have a certain target demographic and I'm only serving those people instead of serving everybody. I learned about certain books like the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing and the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. In another book, I learned about a book called Contagious by Jonah Berger. I could just keep on going and going and going, right? But that's somebody that I didn't have to meet, even though I did meet the guy once. But that's somebody that I didn't have to meet. I could study everything that I saw of him out on the internet, right? And then I could observe and I can see the demonstration that he's doing, and then I could implement it for myself. Do the same exact thing with my actual mentors, right? I find people that have done it, that have already laid out the blueprint and then just follow the blueprint. Success is repeatable. Other people, they have already done it. So just do what others have done. Most people, they're out here trying to reinvent the wheel. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already round and it works and it rolls, baby. Now, you might want to make your wheel a little bit different. You might want to throw some rims on your wheel, but the wheel is still going to be the wheel. So find somebody that has built the wheel and then just roll down the hill. Like, you don't have to figure it all out from scratch. And then use data, conversions, retention, engagement. You need to create something and you need to get it out into the marketplace so you can actually get feedback from what you put out into the marketplace instead of just guessing and thinking that you know what people want, guessing and thinking what the market wants. You need to get something out so you can actually get feedback from people, so you can actually get conversions and data points back. So you'll have actual sound evidence on what is and what's not working and what it is that you actually need to work on, because without that, you're just guessing. And then watch back your own work like a critic. Like, do you think that Tom Brady never watched film? Like, no, Tom Brady, he watched himself playing the game, therefore he could critique himself. Even if I'm just using my YouTube channel as an example, I am always the first view and the first like on my own videos. I watch everything that I put out. Why? Because I'm critiquing it. I'm looking where I can get better. I'm looking at if I was too wordy on something. I'm looking to see, did I really explain this in a concise manner that somebody could easily understand it, to where somebody could easily digest it? Am I sounding too smart? Because actually, and that's a lot of people's problem, is that they're trying to sound too smart. And when you try to sound smart, a lot of times you end up sounding dumb, or you just intimidate the person who it is that you're actually intending to help, because they think it's too complex, or they don't think that they will be able to do it, because they're like, oh man, that sounds like a lot. Like, they're using all these big words and all these technical jargons and whatnot. Like, I make business content, right? So if I'm talking about something in business, I don't need to say EBITDA, right? I don't need to say EBITDA, which stands for earnings before. I don't even need to say what it actually stands for, because I don't need to say it. I can just say profit, because at the root of it, EBITDA is just a fancy word to say profit, right? But I know that I don't need to sound fancy when I can just say profit. If I was talking about paid advertising, I would just say ads. I don't need to say media buying, because media buying is some fancy word that they came up with in marketing to basically just say running ads. So I'll just say running ads. I don't need to sound smart. I need you to understand what I'm saying. So if you want to be a beast, start craving correction, not because it feels good, because it probably won't, but it does sharpen your weapon, right? And feedback is the difference between being busy and getting better. And the fourth thing is that you need deliberate practice. Listen to me close when I say this. All practice does not equal progress. Deliberate practice does. Here's the difference. Mindless reps equals burnout. Targeted reps equals breakthrough. Don't just do the thing over and over. Do the thing that challenges you. Do the thing that hurts. So for example, if you're editing videos, don't just chop it up. Practice pacing. If you're selling, don't just pitch. Practice objection handling. If you're building offers, don't just package stuff. Practice positioning. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right thing until it becomes second nature. Like, until you don't have to think about it, until it just free flows from you, like just as natural as you just talking about anything. It just comes from you because you are it. That's how expertise is built. You isolate, you target, you adapt, rinse, repeat, dominate. And here's a freebie. Here's a fifth one, because I guess I can't count, so there's actually 5 steps to it. The fastest way to become an expert is to teach every single thing that you know. And that's most people's problem, is that they don't think that they can teach because they have not become the expert yet. Well, listen to me. Please listen to me loud and clear when I say this to you, my friend. Ask yourself this question real quick. Anybody that you perceive to be an expert about anything, why do you think they're the expert? You think that they're the expert because they teach everything that they know about something. So, people don't teach because they're experts. People become experts because they teach. The only way that you can become a perceived expert about anything is if you teach about it. So, teach every single thing that you know. Work in public so you can start to become the perceived expert in your niche, in your market. But most people, they dip out right before it gets good. They do a few reps, get no feedback, feel like imposters, and bounce. Meanwhile, the winners, they lean into the discomfort. They adjust faster. They build in public. And when the moment is right, boom, they explode like all them that you see on the screen right now. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only a few bucks a day to join right now, literally less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description and tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But look, man, you gotta make a decision. Are you gonna do this or are you not gonna do this? Are you really going to master a skill? Are you really going to become that expert to actually build your business online? Because it's all on you. And if you decide to do it, it's really simple. Pick a valid environment, stack a disgusting level of reps, get feedback fast, and practice deliberately, not casually. You can do it. I believe in you. You believe in you. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. Go ahead and check out this video right here about how you can literally just print money out of thin air and create a lot of value and make money from literally absolutely nothing. It's Credit at the Top.